everyone, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a water change, that's cleaning on the fish tank, and I thought I'd film a vlog about it to show you how it's, at least how I do it, and it's sort of like the do's and don'ts of fish keeping that I've learned over the past few months, well, past few years. I mean, I had fish throughout 2018 and most of 2019, and then when they all passed away, I then sold that and got rid of it. But first of all, I wouldn't recommend the fish tank I have. It's called a Moringa Aqua 360. Now, the tank itself is a really good idea. It's let me show you. So, it's well, 360. It's a cylinder. That's the word. It goes all the way around. So you get a nice view of your fish. You know, you can see everything, which is really cool. But the filter is crap, and the filter on that one is hardly working. So I've had to, but well, I don't know, it does filter through the water because you've got these sort of sponge things you have to put in. So I know that it is working somewhat, but it doesn't create as much, it's like surface agitation. I can't say, surface agitation on the water. And that is what you need, because that adds oxygen to the water, which the fish use to breathe. Now, because my tank doesn't have any real plants in it, they're not going to get enough oxygen with just that filter. So I had to buy an external air pump, which creates air bubbles, giving them a bit of oxygen. It's a load of crap. And I was like, oh, I'm going to, go and buy a new filter and then just replace it, or buy a pump to, fix the filter. But it's ridiculous. So a new filter, you can't buy a part for the filter. You have to buy the whole filter, right? And you can't, so the whole filter is £50. If you buy it through, I checked Amazon, I checked their own website, it's £50 across the board, right? But in Pets at Home, which is like it's a pet shop in the UK, a chain pet shop, the whole tank, whole new fish tank is £49. And I'm thinking, how does that work? So if I did want to eventually replace that filter, it would be cheaper for me to just go and buy another one of this tank, which is ridiculous. But I think, like, if that filter ever properly died and did not work anymore, I would upgrade the tank and get a bigger one, because it is small. It's only a 10 litre, so I've got 4 little minnow in there and a shrimp. Now, the minnow are called Bob, and Barbara. Originally, there were 4 Bobs, but now I've discovered that one of them is a lady, so she's called Barbara, and the shrimp's called Skipper. But they're really cool to watch. Minnow are beautiful, and they have a beautiful, shiny glow pattern on them. But obviously, if I had a bigger tank, I could either get more minnow, or I would probably put heater on it and get some more tropical fish. Because one thing I have learned, so when I first started collecting fish or owning fish, I was naive and I wanted a goldfish. Because, I mean, probably the most famous pet fish is a goldfish. But what you don't know, what isn't really taught, is that goldfish are a pain in the ass. And probably one of the hardest fish you could keep. Because, so that, the tank I have is a 10 litre. For a proper goldfish that you want to live for however long they live, you need like a 60 litre tank. So I don't know whether you visualise, but a 60 litre tank would take up the whole of that space on that shelf. It'd be a huge tank. And then even then, you would have, like, eventually they'd get, if it kept growing, because you bought like a big goldfish, you would then have to put it in a pond, I believe. So the idea of like a goldfish bowl and sticking a goldfish, it doesn't work like that at all. But I've just enthralled with fish. Ever since, like, me and Sasha went to an aquarium, Bristol Aquarium, for our 3rd date. And ever since then, I've just gotten back into the hobby, and I absolutely love fish. So the reason why I'm vlogging this today, besides showing you, is also because I've run out of the stuff that makes tap water safe for fish. So I have to go to the fish shop and go and get some. But I'm going to go to There's one called Maidenhead Aquatics, which is I think that's a chain one as well, but it's a bit fancier, and they have some cool fish in there. So I'm going to show you some cool fish. To diss anyone who has a freshwater aquarium like mine. You know, those minnow are beautiful, and I will stick a record on and happily sit there and watch them, because they're very playful. They love, you know, they chase each other, and because one of them's a lady, I'm probably going to have baby minnow soon. Well, sooner or later, I don't know. But my point is that, like, a tropical aquarium with a heater is much prettier. Like, I just think that tropical fish are a lot prettier than the cold water fish, but that's just me. The only reason I don't have a tropical filter is because well, a tropical tank, sorry, is because the minnow were cheap, and it's just a freshwater tends to be cheaper. But it's so hot in here, I need to open the windows. Here we go. I love starting this car up. Beep. Oh, I'm off. But this hat is really cool, and none of the companies or trademarks or whatever in this video are sponsored. I'm off. Some stuff. So I've taken everything off the shelf besides the fish tank. I'm going to put some gloves on because I'm going to be cleaning algae, and it's a bit manky. Algae's not actually bad for the fish. Well, not a little bit of algae's alright. And like, it's not toxic to me either, but it's just manky and icky, and I don't like touching it. So, because I'll be taking out, like, all this fake coral and stuff will come out, and then I'll clean some of the gravel off and stuff. So I wear gloves. You don't have to wear gloves. This is just an old doggy towel that we don't mind getting a bit dirty, because the stuff I bought for the water will take the colour out of the towel, as you can see. And it's also like fish water is icky as well. This bad boy is an algae scrubber on a sort of like a longer handle, which I haven't used yet. I bought it yesterday for today. Originally, like past few months, I've just been using sponges, regular sponges. I reckon this is going to be a lifesaver. Turn the filter off, and then we take it out. Oh crap, sorry guys, I didn't realise this. And then you just got to empty all the water out that's in it. Let's get rid of all that. You can see how it's all manky in here. And once it's a bit emptier, you can put that down on there. And then I will now give that a clean. There's one empty fish tank besides the air pump. And all the algae, the sort of brown algae that was on the side, is now mostly gone. There's this weird, I don't know what kind of algae it is over here. Some sort of green marks. I can't get off with the scrubber. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. But it's already looking much cleaner. They're not too happy because their home's just disappeared. And Skipper was in there somewhere. I can't see him because he's white. But he was definitely in there before I pulled everything out. Don't worry. My job is to take some of the water out. Do about 20% of the water. So this thing goes in there. And then you just sort of shake it. It's a bit of... Basically, this one's crap. This was a cheapy £13 one. That only works sometimes. It's about 20%. I'm going to try and get this white stuff off the top as well. That's just where the water surface should be. That's where it usually is. My old water. Look. That's what we picked up earlier. Come on. I had to turn the fan on because it's hot. You can see the water levels much higher. Last thing we need to do is install the new filter sponges things. open up top. It's hard doing this with one hand. And then they just sort of slide in. Now it recommends doing this once every 2 weeks, but they're really expensive. Well, it's £5 a packet. So every 2 weeks, that'll add up. So maybe once a month I change it. And then he goes back in there without knocking anything over. Whoosh, like that. Something else important is these test strips, these are the cheaper end. You can get some real testing kits, but basically this makes sure that your water levels, like all the acidity and stuff, is all fine. Now I don't need to do this today because I only did it a few days ago, but usually you would do that as well. What I do is feed them. If you imagine, their home has just been completely changed before their eyes. So, they deserve a treat after a stressful... I reckon that's the most comprehensive clean they've had in a while. Usually I just do the water and change the filter things, but this, I did it full on this time, and it looks so much better, and everyone looks happier. There's Skipper, the shrimp. I took out some of the colourful coral that was on the bottom. It's all fake coral, there he goes, having a swim. But I just thought it was too cluttered down there, and because I wanted to, what I've done differently, I don't know whether you can see, but I've dug the plant into the ground instead of having them sat on top of the stones, so it looks better. And it is a load better. Like the top sits on properly and everything. But yeah, that was me cleaning my fish tank. That's how I do it. That's pretty much the method. Thanks for watching. I hope you like fish as much as I do, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Now I've just got to try and edit this bloody thing.